Alright, so I'm recording this after I've done the rear end swap in the S-10. It wasn't too bad, I don't think. There was only one thing that you really got to pay attention to, and that's to make sure that you understand all your measurements as far as your width goes for what size rear end you need. Mine came all separate, so I ordered the center section from Speedway Motors separately from my housing and my axles and my brake kit as well. So all that was separate. And I think it came out to a total of, I want to say like $2,200 or so. It was a little bit cheaper that way. You can't really cut corners with doing a rear though. You have to make sure that you have a bulletproof rear if you're going to be going pretty fast. Yeah, it wasn't too bad overall though. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. I won't keep blammering on. Here's a clip from a few months ago of when I got the rear out, the old one. It's currently sitting right over there, about 20 feet away. And yeah, it went pretty well overall. So we're on the wiring now, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, I'm back in the garage today. It's currently Friday, and we are getting the old stock rear out of it. So I got the lower U-bolts to loosen the nuts on the U-bolts. And that really should honestly be it. I'm going to take this cover off just to see how the inside looks because I'm planning on selling it. But, yeah, and then I'm going on vacation for a little while. But when I get back, the 9-inch forward rear end should be here from Trick Chassis. So I can put that in along with the center section and put the Caltracs on. Take this lower leaf out of the leaf spring. And we should be good to go. So I'm going to work on getting this off. And then hopefully the U-bolts. So I'll update you guys. Had a bit of a mess, but it'll be all right. So I got all the bolts out now, and we're gonna slowly pry this off. There it is, open end diff. So I don't see any shavings, nothing. Not any wear in any bad spots where it should be. So it looks fine. And in all honesty, turn around, probably sell it for a few bucks, make some money back. But overall, looks all right to me. I don't know. Maybe you guys have a little bit more experience, can obviously tell. Maybe I'm missing something because I'm not the most educated person when it comes to this stuff, but I know how to make my way around a lot of it. So, but yeah, that's the diff. So I'm going to get this all cleaned up now, and I'll work on the U-bolts next. This is either about to go really good or really bad. All right, wasn't too bad. It's actually pretty light, a lot lighter than the 9-inch probably will be. But nevertheless, it's out. I'm going to drag it over, put it over with the other pile of crap that's over here. Just keeps filling up. Got to keep on top of that, getting rid of some stuff. Spring Carlisle's coming up too, because we're almost at spring now. So go up there, probably sell some stuff. But yeah, nevertheless, it's out. Just going to clean up the leaf springs a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to get the bottom suspender leaf out. And then we should be good to go. All right, guys. Nevertheless, it's out now. So I took the bottom leaf out, as I said I was going to do. And it came out. I had to press this back up to get it back into place. So that's it. I got it back up in place now. And I painted the top because I'm putting these 2-inch spacers, aluminum spacers, in to create more space in between the rear and the leaf springs. So obviously I'm not going to sit it there because I just painted it, but it's just going to sit like this. Obviously the rear going on top of that, the mounts for the rear, and should be in good shape. For right now, there's not that much else I can do until the rear does get here. So until then, I can probably still take these old bolts out and replace them because they're pretty nasty. This one's almost rotted all the way through. So while I got it apart, I might as well take the time and do it right. So that's what I'm going to do next. But until I get the rear, that's really the only thing I have left to do. So we'll see, though. Well, that didn't go as planned. That is the nut I was trying to get off from the bolt. And as you can see, these things are absolutely just destroyed. This was the bolt. So, was in, and then it just split right off. That's how bad condition these things were in. As you can see, this thing is absolutely rusted to death, and it just started to torque the entire bolt as soon as I tried to put pressure on it. So yeah, that's what weathering will do, and corrosion, man. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. I'll have to get new bolts and probably new sleeves for these. The brackets don't look too bad, but it definitely needs new bolts, obviously. So other side wasn't as bad. The nuts came off of them, but you can see I got clean threads on there, but it's absolutely screwed up in there. And then here too, just all these need replaced. So that's what I'm getting into. All right, so I'm in the process of getting these clamps back in on the leaf springs. One's already in. I ended up welding the inner piece there. Top pieces comes off. It's not welded to the top or anything. This whole piece just lifts off once you take the nut and bolt out. And I bought some sleeves, and I should have gotten more washers or another spacer, but I ended up just using a bigger nut on the inside pieces here. It's not how you're supposed to do it, but it's all I have. And then just a lock washer on the outside. And then it's going to be the same thing over here. And on the front, I just drilled holes for that one, just my pilot holes, and then I'll go up a bit and then go up to this bigger bit, which is for the bolt. Just work my way up to it. And then, so these ones on the front are welded. So I'm going to have to drill the smaller pieces, which is technically these on the back ones. So it's just flipped the opposite way on the front part of the leaf spring other than the back. So we'll get to that in a minute after we're done this back one, and I'll keep you guys updated. So now we're in the process. Sorry, the air compressor's running. So now we're in the process of getting the sleeves out of the front leaf springs so we can get the front Caltrac mounts done. That's what's next. The hardest part is that rubber just warps to the contour of the front of the leaf spring bracket, so it's hard as shit to get out. So your best luck is probably trying to burn it like we're doing and chisel it out. That's really all you can do, unfortunately. So it just takes a lot of momentum, a lot of movement to loosen it up. So that's where we're at now. And then what we can do is get the front leaf spring bracket mounted on, and then the bar come back, and then the Caltrac should be done. All it's got to be done is adjusting them, and that'll be done accordingly when we start moving the truck, which won't be for a while. But nevertheless, we can get them on and out of the way. So that's what's next. And then I just painted the center section so we can get the center section in too. And then hopefully the axles and then the brakes. So that's where we're at right now. So this is what the last hour looked like of getting this all burned out. So now we're in the process of getting the new sleeve in, right? Yep. And that should sit flush, as far as I know, because
it's the same width as your sleeve spring.
Yeah, because the other one doesn't sit flush. Is it really? Holy shit. All right, the other side is mounted. The brackets are, at least. We don't have the bars in yet, but now we are in the process of burning the rubbers out of this side. So just make sure that this can be a fire hazard. Yes, I know I have a wood block right there. But that's the only thing that we have to wedge it. So, I mean, it'll start, some ash will come off of it, but it'll be all right. We also have another piece of metal up top there. But we're just waiting for this rubber to burn so we can knock the sleeve out. All right, guys, we're done for today. Made steady progress on my truck. We got the front brackets mounted. These were the hardest part because you have to get the old sleeves out and put the new aluminum sleeves in, and then the metal center section as well, and then put the bolt back in and mount it back into place. So they were hard to get out. We ended up using the oxyacetylene rig over there and burned the old rubbers out because, like I said, the aluminum sleeving takes place where the rubber sleeving goes on the old ones. So we ended up changing that up, and they're sitting fine now. All I have to do is put my bars in, and that's it. So what's next is we're going to get the center section in. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, and then we'll be ready for the axles and the brake kits. But this was easily the hardest part so far. It was a pain in the ass to get those old sleeves out. That one over there, we had to actually spread the metal and then drive the sleeve in because it was so hard to get in. So we ended up using a press with our clamps from over there. And yeah, it ended up working out. But it just takes some time and some patience. Think of a few things that helped us along the way. So yeah, that was the biggest pain. But nevertheless, we got them in, and they're ready to rock and roll, as well as the bottom parts of the Caltracs here. Just screw the bars in, and that's it. And then, like I said, the next thing we have to do is just the center section, the axles and the brakes, and that's really it for the rear. And then we can get started with wiring this thing, which is going to be a project in and of itself. So, but that's where we're at right now. And I'll update you guys when I have something else left, so I appreciate it. Alright guys, I'm getting the Caltracs mounted now, and just learning how these things get set and everything. Just going through some different processes of how to set gap and everything, air gap. I'm going to set them at neutral until I figure out how the truck runs with them, and we'll just go from there. But yeah, they don't look too bad. They look pretty decent. Next, I got to put the center section in. I can get that bolted in, and then maybe the axles, and then I can probably work on the anti-roll bar, which is probably going to be up through here, and then I'll have my sprungs come down on the other side, like right around there. So, but yeah, that's the update so far. Just getting the Caltracs in now, and I'll keep you guys up. So I'm getting the anti-roll bar set now. I have the top tacked in behind these clamps that are just there to hold it for right now. And now I'm in the process of getting these plumbing level so I can tack the bottom brackets to the rear, these little brackets here. So once I get them tacked, I can take these bolts off and these ones, take the whole thing out, and then start running beads on the bottom and the top, obviously. And then we'll go from there. So this is a bleeder for the rear, and I took it out just so I don't get any spalls or anything in there from my welding rod. So we should be good now, and then we'll go. All right, guys. I got the bearings pressed in along with the seals. I had to take them to my engine guy. He had a bearing press, luckily enough. And we're about to get these brackets mounted on the back for the brakes. So when you guys, if you disc swap the back like with a rear like this, like a Ford 9-inch, usually the new brackets for your rotors and calipers will have this recess. You want to make sure that that recess is facing this side of the bearing, so it sits flush like that. You obviously don't want it like this, otherwise it's not going to sit right and it's just going to roll across it. So, but this way ensures that you have it recessed right to sit against the bearing and the oil seal. So just a quick little note there. I'm going to work on getting this side on. I'm going to do one side at a time, and if I come across anything else, I'll let you guys know. But it seems pretty straightforward so far, so we'll get into that now. Guys, we are now done mounting the tires. I got them both on each side. As you can see, caliper was at the back on this one, same on that one, obviously. And it was pretty straightforward. One thing I'm still a little bit, I wouldn't say concerned, but questioning is the fact that there's really nothing holding this brake rotor on other than the caliper and the lug nuts on the outside, which is kind of just odd to me. I don't know. Maybe that is the way it's supposed to go, though. But it looks really good as of right now. So I'm going to do a little bit more research, see what I can find out. But clearance on each side looks pretty good. So we'll go from here. The next thing I can do is get this moved because I actually have to get the Chevelle out to replace the rear wheel cylinder. So we're going to work on that next. And then the next thing for the S-10 is getting the relays, the fuel pump relay, alternator shutdown relay, and all the other relays mounted in the corner over there next to the fuse block. I got that put in last night. So we're going to work on that next. But I got to get this out of the way so we can work on the Chevelle. So that's what's next on the agenda. But this came out really good so far. I'm proud of it. So I'll keep you guys updated. All right, I'm just going to give everybody a quick update on the S-10 because it's been a little bit since I have. The other day, I got the coil on the front below the front relays for the fan, water pump, and fuel pump. Got the bed back on it because I'm done with the rear. The only thing I have left to do back here is to tie in the shocks once I get them, but I won't need them for a while. So this is the finished rear. Looks pretty good, I think. I'm sure some of you guys can probably do a little bit better, but it was my first time doing it. Had to refabricate some lines going back here. And I don't know if it's like this on all S10s, but this male fitting up here, this male adapter, is 1/4 inch. When you need the adapter for 3/16 brake hoses, so I had to actually order a 1/4 inch male to 3/16. Or I'm sorry, the other way around to 3/16 adapter for the brake hose up top here. So that's something to keep in mind if you're redoing brakes on your S10 and you're doing a 9-inch like I did. So that's just something to keep in mind. Roll bar obviously is done and everything. So and the back looks pretty good. I have my Caltracs just set at neutral, the same with my anti-roll bar. So I got these loose until I make a hit on it eventually. I can then adjust it and everything, but that'll be further down the road. Other than that, wiring's coming along pretty smoothly. As you can see, we have the 6AL digital box laid up and everything. along with the relays on the right and then a fuse block on the left. Really now it's just some wiring, and then I ordered the fuel cell, which I'm planning to put behind the rear wheels, and it's actually going to be next to the tail, right in front of the tailgate, so probably about right here. You can see about how far back that would be. So like right about here is where it would start, and then it would come in. It's a 10-gallon fuel cell, so it's a decent size. It's nothing crazy though. And then other than that, we're kind of just putzing along so far. I'm still tossing up the idea if I want to do turbos or nitrous. I don't know yet. I feel like I wouldn't look back with doing turbos, but at the same time, nitrous is a little bit easier to understand, but it can be more expensive in the long run. So I'm thinking turbos right now, but that might change in a little bit. So, and I had to pull the radials that were on it off because, as you can see, this was scarring on the rotors. These rotors were too big, so I'll just have to get a different rim size, basically, because they're the same size rotors back here that they are up front, which is the odd part. So we'll have to just get some new rims. There's nothing wrong with these radials. I like them, so we're going to keep them, and we'll just go from there. But so far, that's really it for the rear, and that's what the update is as far as everything else goes. But I'll keep you guys updated on the wiring. That'll probably be in another video. This one's just been for the rear so far. So I'll probably just throw this video up. I'll put it together, get it posted, and then, like I said, we'll get a separate video on the wiring and how we're going about it, because that's a whole different beast to this. So, but yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. It's coming along pretty smoothly so far for never doing this before. So I'll keep you guys updated. Until next time, thanks for watching.